Hi, I'm Jade Lee, the owner of the farm at Little Orchard. Welcome.
We explore the good life on the farm at Little Orchard this week. Stay with us.
I traded in my high heels for my water boots about 3 years ago and took over my father's property and decided to make it a sanctuary. A productive, money-making venture that would not only support my family but the community here in Linstead. We grow and harvest many crops, we export crops, we sell crops to the local market, we supply quite a few local restaurants, supermarkets and government agencies. We're moving towards eco-tourism. We currently do tours in the tourism industry as well as with schools, high schools, prep schools, primary schools, and that's been going excellent. I grew up on this property, but my parents were not farmers. So it was a citrus orchard, and it was our home. My dad had already passed 7 years when I took the property, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go with it, because I had never been a farmer before, and I never had an interest in farming, to be honest. I came back to visit the property. There was no one living here. It was abandoned for many years. I don't know, it's a really strange thing to explain, but in the next coming years, I developed a passion for the land and a passion for farming. Right now, we have almost 30 acres completely developed. Although I would like to say I have livestock for slaughtering. Every time my animals has babies, they become so endeared to me. My rabbits, goats, and we have chickens. I have not started to slaughter any of our animals because I get so close to them, but it has to happen eventually. So I'm getting there mentally and emotionally to grow our herds. That's one part. But what has been happening over the past 3 years is our crops and the growth of our crops in our fields. So we have a very large portion of our flatlands are planted out in callaloo, and we supply callaloo to the local factories. We also export callaloo to the US and to Canada. We supply lots of local entities, like with pumpkins, sweet potatoes, peppers. There are particular agencies that have supported us over the years. You know, Jackie Tyson has been like amazing, and she's always supported us. We do bananas. Right now, there has been a problem in this farming basin with the bananas and plantains. As we knew strains from, we knew as children, everybody knows about Robusta banana and about Gros Michel banana. These bananas are being affected by a very serious disease called black sigatoka. And so most farmers are now replanting with Fia bananas that are resistant to that disease. And so we have a lot of Fia trees that we have just planted. We have ginger. We have pineapple, MD2 pineapple, which is a very hardy pineapple. We have those as well. We have peppers, Moruga red, West Indian red, and Scotch bonnet peppers. We have corn. And then we have our herbs and spices. Like we have a very, very large mint area, and we supply mint to most of the bars and stuff for mojitos. Okay, so people can relate to that. We do as well lemongrass, and we do rosemary and stuff like that. Moringa, we have lots of moringa trees that that was the first thing I planted when I took Little Orchard Farm over.
Welcome to Little Orchard Farm in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica.
On the farm at Little Orchard, there are many crops that we grow organically. Growing a crop organically means that you do not use any toxic pesticides, you do not use any toxic herbicides to clear the land, you do not use any toxic fertilizers, you use everything that is natural. So if you're going to fertilize, you would fertilize with compost or you would fertilize with animal droppings. If you're going to spray a pesticide, that is a pesticide that we would make our own pesticides from like boiled peppers, garlic, scallion, and make that very strong, and that's what you would spray with. There are also other organic pesticides that you can purchase from the farm store. But these are not very common, especially in the farming practice in Jamaica, because they are more expensive. The whole process of growing organic produce is not easy. It's a difficult process. It's a more time-consuming process. So the produce at the end of the day is more expensive. It's also not as pretty. A lot of people buy with their eyes, they eat with their eyes, and so if you see a head of cabbage and it has little bites and stuff on it, and you see this beautiful head of cabbage over here and has no bites and it's just perfect, more than likely the head of cabbage that is perfect is not organic. More than likely. And I'm not saying that it can't be organic and be beautiful. If it's grown in a greenhouse and it's completely protected from the elements and from all of those pests and stuff, and you have barriers in your greenhouse and entranceways that are protected, then that can happen. That's usually not the case though. So most people in Jamaica grow on the outdoors because we have the weather for it 24/7. And so the organic stuff becomes more expensive at the end of the day to the consumer. And so we have a very small niche market that only buys organic stuff. And so we do grow these things specifically for that market. And we get into organic things like organic eggs, which is grain-fed chicken and vegetable-fed chickens. We get into the organic stuff as free-range chickens. These chickens are not fed feed with hormones in it that you buy in the bag feed. They're only fed corn and vegetables, but absolutely no hormones at all, which actually comes in the feed that's already processed. So we do have organic chickens, we have organic eggs, and we have organic crops. When it comes on to the health benefits of organic crops and organic chickens, organic eggs, the health benefits are tremendous. They're extremely different. Remember now, the actual hormone that is put into the feed that a chicken eats to produce the eggs on a commercial basis, and the actual feed that the chickens eat to get fatter and more plump in a 6-week period, which is when they harvest and reap the chickens on a commercial basis, those hormones are estrogen based. So estrogen is a female hormone, which means that when you eat these things, you are getting estrogen that your body does not and should not have. So every time a man eats these chickens, he is putting in his body a female hormone. Now, I am not knocking the chicken industry. People have to eat. People are looking always for less expensive alternatives to feed their families, but there are the people that want to be more responsible, and it is more costly to produce a free, the comparison between a free-range chicken and a commercially grown chicken that is given the hormones is more than double the price per pound. It's more than double the price per pound. So it's significantly different, you know, but the health benefits, you can, it's not rocket science. I mean, you know, Google is there, and, you know, I'm not saying something that the information is not out there, you know, because I do have colleagues, and I too do commercial eggs, you know, because there are people that want a choice, and that's what they want to buy, and we do give them the choice. But the people that want to do the organic stuff, we give them the choice as well.
We take our first break here on The Good Life. More when we return. The Good Life is back. Let's have a look at our Need to Know segment for this week.
Look here, Andre, you have to carry this back to here and carry it back to the plow path. When you get suckers, let's bring down another couple of rows here. So this callaloo field, as the suckers are planted, they have to be watered immediately. And this particular plot here is about 1 acre. As you know, callaloo is very high in iron. And it is now one of the main ingredients for any green juice. Any green juice, you know that callaloo is a must-have in your green juice. As well as, of course, we know we cook callaloo as a vegetable, as a side dish or a breakfast dish in Jamaica. So all this is being planted out today, and they're being watered as they're planted. First couple of weeks, they're in shock. And for the first couple of weeks, they'll look like this. These have been planted now about 1 week, and so they're in shock. They're also suffering from a little bit of lack of water because we're having a little bit of not so much rain recently. But not to worry. They're just in shock because they're babies, they were just planted. Because right after that, we're going to take you to the established field and show you what it's going to look like in 3 to 4 weeks. So this is what the field looks like when it is established. And these callaloos are now ready for reaping. So we do not spray our callaloo with anything toxic. So if you see a bite or two, it's a good thing, okay? Good thing. This tree is actually reaped and it will grow back, and in 2 weeks, it'll be big again and you'll get fresh things. So we spoke about seeds and planting seeds. Yes, planting seeds are important. Would you select a tree like this for seeds? Absolutely not. This tree is little and bilgy. No. When you select a seed for replanting, it must be from the most beautiful tree or the most beautiful fruit that you have in your orchard. And you take that, that's your mother. And remember, just like how you pamper a pregnant mother and you give her vitamins and you feed her all of the nutritious stuff, that's what you do with your mother tree. So now we're going over to see the bananas. These bananas are Robusta bananas. That's the breed of bananas. And as you can see, you see these leaves that gets dried. They start out by being yellow, like this one right here. This particular fungus that affects these bananas is called black cicotoca. And the black cicotoca is actually rampant throughout Jamaica and some parts of this Caribbean farming basin. And the black cicotoca actually can be controlled with chemicals. However, we do not spray our bananas. These bananas will eventually die. What happens with the black cicotoca is that it kills the leaves, and when the leaves die, the fruit does not have enough leaves to carry the nutrients to the actual banana, and then the bananas abort before the time that they should be fit. How do you know a good sucker from a bad sucker? A good banana sucker shapes like a spear. It's wider at the bottom and narrow at the top. So that's a good healthy sucker right here. This tree is going to shoot. You can see it shooting. The fruit will shoot, and as soon as that bears and you reap that fruit, you cut this tree down. And this tree will come down, and then this one will shoot a fruit. And it continues and continues. But at no time at all should you have more than 3 generations of bananas in one area, one hole. That's a healthy tree right there so far. But we see the black cicotoca coming. But hopefully the tree will remain with at least 8 leaves to feed the fruit until maturity to reap. Luckily, however, they came up with a new strain of bananas called the Thea banana that is actually resistant to black Sikatoka. So we are now in the process of replanting our bananas and putting in the Thea bananas, and we'll show you some of these fields. No black Sikatoka. You see no black Sikatoka leaves. Beautiful Thea bananas. Andre, why not planting? Everybody need to plant them rows. These we have sprayed with the organic stuff. So these are completely organic cabbages. This is a moringa tree. This tree is about 3 years old. Usually when they're planting moringa for harvesting, they harvest the leaves and grind them to put in a capsule for medicinal purposes. They also use the seeds as a health product in shakes, in just pop one in your mouth, you know. You don't want to eat too many moringa seeds though, because it carries your blood pressure down sometimes, I understand. Okra. You know you can eat all of these baby okras when they're young like this. Nice. Healthy living. So these are our free-range chickens. They were hatched out about a month ago, and we leave them caged for maybe about a month and a half to 2 months until they're big enough to fend for themselves, or else predators like mongoose and so on will get to them and eat them. So we have them in protective custody. This is our apiary. It's a small apiary that we're growing. We're in honey season now, so we're actually splitting our boxes, which means making 2 boxes out of 1 box. And we're developing our apiary. Hopefully, we aim to get up to 1,000 boxes. So Denby is probably the largest agricultural trade show in the world. It is a huge trade show that goes on for about 3 days in Jamaica. And Denby of 2016, I got the award of champion female farmer for Jamaica. I had only been in farming 2.5 years, so I was very happy to have been selected. And you know, I know that the other females that were in the category too, they did very well. They had some amazing properties. I've visited some of these properties and I'm very, very impressed.
We take our final break here on The Good Life, but stay with us. More when we return.
What farming has done for me, it has taught me a lot of patience. You see, because I'm a very impatient person and I want things to be done now, immediately. I want it to be done today, this minute. Farming doesn't work like that. You can't plant pumpkins today and reap them tomorrow. You have to prepare your lands. You have to know the time of year to plant. If you have a lacking of water supply or irrigation, you have to know when your rains are coming. How soon do you plant before your rains? You have to understand that there are certain soils that certain crops don't do well in. Rotation of crops on a particular piece of land is also very important. You don't want to plant, there are some crops that give back to the earth, and there are some crops that take away from the earth. So you may want to plant sweet potato, and then you want to plant callaloo, and then you want to plant something else, and then you want to go back to your sweet potato, because sweet potato gives back to the land. So there are many different farming practices, and believe you me, Google is a wonderful place. It's all there. And if it's not there, I can pick up my phone and call a fellow farmer, and the information is easily at hand. I choose crops based on the market and what's out there as a demand, what I have orders for and contracts for on a regular basis. And I know that contractually I have a market for it. So we will continually grow these crops like pumpkin, sweet potato, and callaloo. There's a all year round market for these, and I already have an established contract for these. Other than that, I have so many friends and colleagues that say, Jade, you're not growing up broccoli. You don't have this, you don't have that. And then I have a couple of friends that just want the organic stuff only. And then I grow for them. And other than that, I grow what I like. And if when you grow what you like, there are tons of other people that likes it as well. I grow sweet corn. I love sweet corn. But if I grow sweet corn, I do have hand to sell sweet corn. I think growing what you eat and eating what you grow, everything, it's impossible. It's impossible to grow everything that you eat. And I don't necessarily eat everything that I grow. But one thing I can tell you, there are certain things that I didn't necessarily like before that I eat now because I grow them. Like, I don't really particularly like pumpkins, but I eat pumpkin now because I grow the pumpkins, and it just feels great to eat it. When it comes on to the economics of growing what you eat and eating what you grow, let's say you have a small plot of land in your yard. The fact of the matter is that you see the same callaloo that grows up that you cut, that same callaloo grows back callaloo the very next week or the week after. All you have to do is water it and give it a little bit of fertile animal manure, whatever. It grows right back. So that same 6 little roots of callaloo is going to give you callaloo for months and months and months and months. The 3 pepper trees that you have in your yard would be possible to give you peppers for almost 2 years. That same pepper tree. You take that same seed from one of the because you have to select your pepper, your most beautiful pepper that you got off of that tree, and dry those seeds to plant back. You can plant your thyme, your scallion. When they come, they say, how would I plant some scallion? The same scallion you go to the supermarket and buy, the same time you go to the supermarket and buy, you can plant them. Organic farming, or if you want to do farming the other way. But everyone should have a small garden in their home, a mint garden, some lemongrass. You'll be surprised to know how simple it is to grow. And so the economics of it is that, yes, these are things that you can maintain for years. For years, a banana tree will keep giving you back the suckers, and it will always be shooting banana. You get a bunch of banana, you can put bananas in the fridge, green bananas in the fridge, by the way, so they don't ripe. So the importance of a farmer and agriculture is so important in our lives. And that's how I start every tour. I ask the question, if you don't bathe for 2 months, will you die? You won't die if you don't bathe for 2 months. You'll be very stink, but you won't die. But if you don't eat for 2 months, you will die. There you have it. That was our tour of the farm at Little Orchard in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. I'm sitting right now on my father's old Massey Ferguson tractor. This tractor is probably, wow, a few decades old, well. So we looked at many different crops and the styles of growing crops organically and on the other end commercially, and the health benefits of the organic cropping, which is what we're trying to focus on here at the farm at Little Orchard. It is important to understand that eating healthy is a very important component to start your healthy lifestyle. And of course, knowing where your food comes from and knowing how your food is grown is very, very important farming is now so much more extensive than an old man in an overall with a straw hat going out in the fields. It's far more sophisticated. And so we encourage the youngsters to look seriously into farming, because the source of life is food. Farm healthy, eat healthy. Thanks for watching. This has been The Good Life, right here, the farm at Little Orchard.